Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Narendra Modi assumes office as India's Prime Minister for the third consecutive time. First decision of the new government shows its commitment to farmers' welfare. Nine pilgrims killed and more than 30 injured as bus falls into gorge after a terror attack in India's Jammu and Kashmir. President condoles the deaths. Prime Minister directs the Lieutenant Governor to monitor the situation. France's President Emmanuel Macron dissolves Parliament, calls a snap national election on 30th June after a heavy loss in EU vote. And in cricket, India beats arch-rival Pakistan by 6 runs in a thrilling T20 World Cup encounter. Narendra Modi took charge as India's Prime Minister for the third time on Monday. In a reflection of the government's commitment to farmers' welfare, the Prime Minister authorized the release of the 17th installment of the PM Kisan Nidhi, which is a fund for farmers' welfare. Notably, this is the government's first decision in its new term. It will benefit 93 million farmers and distribute around $2.3 billion. After signing the file, the Prime Minister said, and I quote, "Ours is a government fully committed to Kisan Kalyan. It is therefore fitting that the first file signed on taking charge is related to farmer welfare. We want to keep working even more for the farmers and the agriculture sector in the times to come," unquote. And joining me is my colleague Vishal Barrister. Vishal, first up, for the benefit of viewers tuning in from India and around the world, why don't you start by talking to us a bit about the PM Kisan Nidhi, the fund for farm welfare?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Ramesh. Yes, indeed, it's a good decision, and the Prime Minister just taking charge of the office, and he has released the 17th edition of installment of the Kisan Samman Nidhi, which is a relief for the farmers around, if I put it in Indian terms, around 9 crore farmers would be benefited out of it, and 20,000 crores money has been released for the benefit of farmers. 6,000 is the amount, 6,000 rupees is the amount of Kisan Samman Nidhi, which means an amount which gives self-respect to the farmers, which supports the farmers' needs. And we all know that India is an agro-based economy, and farmers cannot be ignored by any political party. And when it comes to farmers, Prime Minister Modi has always been very, very careful about taking the support of the farmers, taking their needs to the priority, and also he's been very vocal about the needs of the farmers and his likeness towards the farmers. So this is quite a welcome step by the Prime Minister, and his first decision goes to the farmers is certainly a reflection of the mindset of the Prime Minister, who assumed office in the third term today.
Vishal, should we take it then that this would constitute the first concrete step the Prime Minister has taken as part of his government hitting the ground running, literally, and also in the context of his 100-day action plan to unleash the various reforms across the country?
Well, absolutely, Ramesh. If you remember, when Prime Minister invited the winning MPs to his residence for a cup of tea, he made it very clear that the good works of the government, especially the reforms, would continue in his 3.0 also. And apart from that, he also asked all the MPs to be in office from Monday to Thursday, and then go to your constituency from Friday to Sunday. So he means business, and the business would continue as usual, and his focus has always been the common man, because BJP has always believed in serving the last man in the queue, and that is why we hear that Prime Minister's first decision has gone in for the farmers, and he has signed the 20,000 crore rupees installment for the farmers, and he had announced this Kisan Samman Nidhi much earlier in his earlier terms. But this is continuing, and this is heartening to see that he is walking his talk, and that is what he also wants his allies to follow, because this time it's the NDA government. Earlier also it was NDA government, but that time it was the full majority by the BJP. This time BJP is being supported by the Telugu Desam party, by the Janata Dal United, and other parties from Bihar and other parts of the state.
Right, just to recap what Vishal is reporting there for the benefit of viewers tuning right now, Prime Minister Modi's government has taken its first executive decision of releasing the 17th installment of what is known as the PM Kisan Nidhi, which is a fund for farmers' welfare. Now, this will benefit 93 million farmers across the length and breadth of India, and the corpus amounts to about $2.3 billion US. Vishal, thank you. Appreciate it. Right, moving on, history was written on Sunday when Narendra Modi was sworn in as India's Prime Minister for a third consecutive term. President Draupadi Murmu administered the oaths of office and secrecy to Mr. Modi. Prime Minister Modi became the second Prime Minister of India after Jawaharlal Nehru to form a government for the third time in a row.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा।
Along with the Prime Minister, 29 cabinet ministers, 5 ministers of state with independent charge, and 36 ministers of state took oath. 9,000 guests attended the event, including South Asian and African leaders. The swearing-in ceremony was witnessed by Nepal's Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachand, Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Maldives' President Mohammad Muizu, Sri Lanka's President Ranil Wickremesinghe, Mauritius's Prime Minister Pravind Kumar Jugnauth, and Vice President of Seychelles Ahmed Afif. Industry leaders and actors also attended the swearing-in ceremony. And India's President Draupadi Murmu hosted a banquet in honor of the South Asian and African leaders who attended the inauguration of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Nepal's Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachand held a meeting with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi on Sunday. Prachand, in a social media post, said that they discussed about ways to enhance Nepal-India relations. He expressed confidence that Nepal's multifaceted relations with India would prosper under Modi's leadership. He congratulated Modi on his third consecutive term as Prime Minister of India. BJP leader Jyotiraditya Scindia, who was the Minister of Civil Aviation and Steel in the outgoing Modi government, took oath as a cabinet minister on Sunday. He said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's new government will remain committed to the overall development of the country.
प्रधानमंत्री ने इस देश की समस्त एक क्षेत्र का समग्र विकास किया है, समग्र प्रगति की है, देश का परचम विश्व पटल पर लहराया है और आज तीसरी टर्म में प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में भारत आर्थिक रूप से एक नक्षत्र के तरफ तेजी से बढ़ रहा है और उसी के साथ साथ एक एक क्षेत्र, एक एक राज्य और एक एक व्यक्ति के विकास, यही प्रधानमंत्री जी का संकल्प है।
Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on Sunday reiterated her country's eagerness to import hydroelectricity from Bhutan via India. She met her Bhutanese counterpart Shering Tobgay in New Delhi. The two leaders were in New Delhi to attend the swearing-in ceremony of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. At least 9 pilgrims were killed and more than 30 injured when a bus plunged into a gorge after a terror attack in India's Jammu and Kashmir. With the help of locals, the police evacuated all passengers and rushed the injured to hospital. The incident took place when terrorists opened fire on the bus that was returning from a temple in Riyasi to Katra. According to the police, the driver lost control and the bus fell into a gorge because of the firing. The Indian Army has launched a manhunt after the terror attack. Drones were being used to search the area. A National Investigation Agency team has reached Riyasi. The State Disaster Response Force and the Forensic Science Laboratory teams have also reached the spot. India's President Draupadi Murmu has condoled the loss of lives in the terror attack. President Murmu said in a social media post, and I quote, "I'm anguished by the terrorist attack on a bus carrying pilgrims in Riyasi district of Jammu and Kashmir. This dastardly act is a crime against humanity and must be condemned in the strongest words. The nation stands with the families of the victims. I pray for the speedy recovery of the injured." Unquote. For his part, India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar expressed his anguish over the attack. He condemned the incident and condoled the bereaved families. The Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Manoj Sinha, condemned the attack as well. He said that those behind it would be brought to justice and that an operation has been launched to hunt down the terrorists. He said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi took stock of the situation and asked him to monitor the situation. Sinha said that all those behind this heinous act will be punished soon. The Prime Minister has directed that all the injured are given the best possible medical care and assistance. In other news, Indian stocks defied broader trends in Asia, reaching unprecedented levels on Monday, just a day after Prime Minister Modi was sworn in for a third term, as investors expected stability from the new government. The NSE Nifty 50 started up by 29 points at 23,319 and the BSE Sensex rose by 242 points to 76,935 at the opening bell. At 11:30 Indian Standard Time, Sensex was up 127 points at 76,808, while Nifty surged 66 points to 23,356. The India Meteorological Department has issued heavy rainfall alert over parts of the states of Maharashtra and Goa. The southwest monsoon has resulted in heavy rainfall in Goa. The India Meteorological Department has credited this weather disturbance to a cyclonic circulation over the Marathwada region of Maharashtra. It said that light to moderate rainfall with thunderstorm, lightning and gusty winds will descend over Karnataka, Kerala, Lakshadweep and Andhra Pradesh during the next 3 to 4 days. These conditions will remain over northeastern India and West Bengal during the next 6 days. In eastern and central India, similar conditions will exist over Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh during the next 4 days. The flood situation in Assam has improved in the past few days as none of the rivers are flowing above the danger mark. 7 districts remain affected though. They are Kachar, Nagaon, Dhimaji, Morigaon, Hojai, Hailakandi and Karbi Anglong West. The National Disaster Response Force and the State Disaster Response Force are carrying out rescue operations and providing relief items to the flood-affected people. Meanwhile, heatwave conditions will continue to prevail over parts of Punjab, Haryana, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Delhi, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh till 13th June. The maximum temperatures are expected to rise by 2 to 3 degrees Celsius over northwestern and central India over the next 4 days. And still to come on DD India Live. Israel's centrist minister Benny Gantz quits Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government. Iran's Guardian Council approves 6 candidates to run for president. And tensions continue to escalate on the Korean Peninsula as South Korea resumes loudspeaker broadcasts against the north amid Pyongyang's balloon offensive.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts, we demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Hundreds of millions of Europeans cast their vote to elect 720 members of the European Parliament. Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk's Civic Coalition came first in the elections with 37.1% of the vote. Their coalition partners, the centre-right Third Way and the left, had 6.9% and 6.3% of the vote respectively. The main opposition party, the Nationalist Law and Justice, had 36.2% of the votes. The far-right Confederation Party had 12.1% of the vote. Meanwhile, in a shocking move, France's President Emmanuel Macron on Sunday called for a snap parliamentary election. Macron's decision came after he dissolved the parliament because of his party's unsatisfactory results in the EU Parliament election. Macron was trounced in the European Union vote by Marine Le Pen's far-right party, the National Rally. According to exit polls, the National Rally party won around 32% of the vote, more than double that of Macron's 15%. Macron's widely unexpected decision could leave him in a nearly powerless position if the National Rally party wins a parliamentary majority.
À l'article 12 de notre Constitution.
After having proceeded with the consultations as provided in the Article 12 of our Constitution, I decided to give back to you the choice for the future of our Parliament with a vote, and so I am dissolving tonight our National Assembly. This is not a good result for parties that defend Europe, including the presidential majority. The parties of the far right, which in recent years oppose so much progress driven by our Europe, these parties are making gains everywhere around the continent.
Que la parole soit donnée au peuple souverain.
For her part, though, France's far-right leader Marine Le Pen welcomed President Macron's call for a snap parliamentary election. She said that her party is ready to take over the power if the French people give it their trust in the upcoming election.
We are ready to exercise power if the French trust us during these future legislative elections. We are ready to build the country, ready to defend the interests of the French, ready to put an end to mass immigration, ready to make the purchasing power of the France a priority, ready to build the reindustrialization of the country. Overall, we are ready to build the country, ready to revive France.
Se lever dans tout le pays.
Israel's Minister Benny Gantz announced his resignation from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's war cabinet on Sunday. Gantz says that Netanyahu is preventing them from advancing towards true victory, and that is why he is leaving the government. Calling for an early election, Gantz said that there should be elections to establish a government that will win the trust of people and be able to face challenges. Meanwhile, Netanyahu issued a brief statement calling on Gantz not to abandon the front, but his departure will not endanger the parliamentary majority. Gantz is seen as Netanyahu's main political rival in Israel. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is visiting Egypt and Israel on Monday to push for a ceasefire in Gaza and prevent the conflict from spreading to Lebanon. Blinken will call on Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in Cairo before heading to Israel for talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. The visit follows President Joe Biden's proposal on 31st of May for a three-phase ceasefire plan, which includes ending hostilities, releasing hostages and prisoners, and rebuilding Gaza. The United States consulate in Sydney, Australia was vandalized on Monday. The Australian police said that they have started an investigation. The building was attacked and sprayed with paint. 9 windows of the consulate were damaged and the building's door was graffitied. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has condemned the incident. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov is set to host a 2-day meeting of BRICS foreign ministers from Monday. The meeting will center on the latest developments in Gaza with a focus on regional and global concerns such as Ukraine and Syria. DD India's Dasha Chernishova has more from Moscow.
Foreign ministers of the BRICS countries are gathering in Russia's city of Nizhny Novgorod for a 2-day summit. What makes this year's edition especially interesting is the expanded format, as during the Ministerial Council an already expanded grouping will hold an extended session with the participation of the delegations from what's called like-minded states, representing regional interaction formats such as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, ASEAN, the African Union, the League of Arab States, and many others. The summit will be headed by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, as Russia is holding the rotating chairmanship in the group, and joint efforts to strengthen multilateralism and international relations is expected to dominate the agenda. The ministers will discuss current international and regional issues, interaction among BRICS states, and the group's cooperation with other countries. Russian Foreign Ministry says the participants will talk about the role of the countries of the global South and East in the process of establishing a, quote, more fair world order. Special attention will be paid to the fulfillment of the Johannesburg Declaration and defining the modalities for a new category of partner states. That is part of the preparation for the Leaders' Summit that is due to be held in Kazan in October. Dasha Cherneshova in Moscow, reporting for DD India.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's sister, Kim Yo-jong, issued a warning through state media on Sunday, threatening a fresh retaliation against South Korea if it continued loudspeaker broadcasts and leaflet scattering amid escalating tensions. On Sunday, South Korea's military confirmed the resumption of loudspeaker broadcasts aimed at North Korea in response to Pyongyang's refusal to halt sending balloons containing garbage into the south. DD India's Chris Gilbert has more from Tokyo. In other news, Iran's Guardian Council, which oversees elections and legislation, has approved 6 candidates to run for president in an upcoming election. According to state TV, Iran's hardline parliament speaker Mohammad Bagher Khalibaf, former chief nuclear negotiator Saeed Jalili, and Tehran's conservative mayor Ali Reza Zaghani are the candidates. The list also includes Masoud Pezeshkian, a reformist lawmaker, Mustafa Pur Mohammadi, a former interior minister, and Amir Hossain Ghazizadeh Hashmi, a conservative politician. With the announcement of the final list officially started electoral activities in Iran, the presidential election will take place on the 28th of June. In sports news, India beat arch rivals Pakistan by 6 runs in a last over thriller on Sunday. India roared back into the game in the second half of the Pakistan innings and restricted Pakistan to 113 for 7 in response to its score of 119 all out. Apart from Rishabh Pant, no other Indian batter could cross the 40-run mark. For their part, the Pakistani bowlers dominated from the start. Haris Rauf and Naseem Shah took 3 wickets each. Mohammad Amir took 2 wickets and Shaheen Shah Afridi took 1 wicket. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India Live. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download it. And let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. All of us here in New Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.